Hi, this is Kat at inkingpaperwithkat.com. Welcome to my craft room. Last week when we made this little project, I told you I would be back this week with a different box that used exactly the same folds as this one. This is the project we are making today. And I know that's kind of white against white. Let's look at it this way. And you can see that the shape is completely different. And yet it's exactly the same folding as this project. For this project we need a 6x6 piece of DSP. This is Joyous Noel from Stampin' Up! We need a piece of the Mary Merlot glimmer paper from the Joyous Noel glimmer pack. And we need a scrap of Sahara sand for stamping. Alright, let's get our scoreboard. And as I explained last week, at the 6-inch mark, I drew a line down my scoreboard. And make sure it's something that you can see. I used a very light colored paint marker, I think, to do that. You are going to line up one of the corners at the 6-inch mark at the top and at the bottom. Then you are going to score on the 5-inch mark and on the 7-inch mark. You are going to turn it to the other corner, line it up exactly the same way, and score again on the 5-inch and the 7-inch. Now you're going to place your paper in your scoring tool as you normally would, up in the upper left-hand corner. And you're going to go to the 3-inch mark and you are going to score down to where those two lines meet in a triangle. And you're going to stop where they meet. Rotate it and do that again. You're going to do this on all 4 sides. Alright, we're going to set our scoreboard aside for a moment. We will need it again. And we're going to bring out our trimmer. Now what you need to do is on one of those sides where you did the lines when the paper was on the diagonal, you are going to fold that. You're going to put it in your trimmer and you are going to line it up. Make sure that you can see this. And you know what? I'm going to flip it over so you can see. So you're lining it up so where the paper folds over, there at the corner, it's laying right in the groove of your trimmer and trim. Then you'll turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Alright, now we need our Simply scoreboard back again. Let's go ahead and fold this one. So you see on this paper, now you have this squared off portion. You are going to put that on your scoreboard and line it up at the 5 and the 7. So the corners, one is at 5, one is at 7. Then you are going to take a ruler and you are going to lay it on your scoreboard so it's at 1.5 over here. And then with your stylus at the 6-inch mark, score down to your ruler. Turn it around and do exactly the same thing. Line it up at 5 and 7. Line your ruler up at 1.5. Score at 6 down to the ruler. That's all we need to do with our scoreboard. Now what we need to do is, I don't know if you can see that score line, but where that partial score line is, we need to score from the end of it down to the corner. So it might be easier if we go ahead and fold and burnish all these score lines so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And don't worry about scoring the diagonal pieces or this partial score line. Alright, so now we're going to put our ruler down, and here is our intersection. And we're going to score right up to the end of that partial score line that we just made. Do the same thing on the other side. And turn your paper around and do it again on the opposite side. Alright, that's all of our scoring done. I am going to round off these two corners. That is strictly a matter of choice. You don't have to do that, but I like the look. Okay, so let's work on these corner pieces and get those to start folding. So, on these, what we want to do is we want to bring them in my paper's decided to give me grief here. Try this again. So when these come in on both sides, like this, the sides where we did the partial score are going to come out. Now on the other one, they went in. So if you pinch those, you will get this shape begin to emerge. And you do that on both sides. So pinch that partial score line and push in on the side, and you will get a little triangle down there in that partial score. Now we're going to apply some glue. So the first place we want to put some adhesive, if you hold your paper like this, there are triangles on either side of this arrow-shaped piece, and that's where you want to put some adhesive. And I'm going to use tear and tape because it's easier to work with this project, and you just are going to lay it down right on that fold line, and then we're going to trim it. And you're going to do this on both sides. So you see where that is? Now we're going to do it on the other side. I get so stuck to this tape. Again, right against the score line. then we're going to do it, let's see, should fit right on one of these. There we go. Right against that one. So these will be folded down like that. Then we need to put some tape right on this part. So flip your paper over, and basically we are going to do exactly the same thing, only on the other side. So right next to that fold line, again, we're doing it on both sides of that arrow shape, and then we're going to flip it over, and we are going to do it again. And this is why it's easier to use the tear and tape, because you can get it all down at one time and not have things get stuck to the wrong place. If you tried to do this with fast fuse, you'd have to do it in stages, because otherwise you're going to find your adhesive is stuck to all the wrong things. Alright, let's take the release tape off. And you can take all of it on this side off. And then you are going to fold this in and just press it down good. You're going to do the same thing on this side. Then down at the bottom. And now you can see where this is going to come together. Like that. So now pull this release tape off. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing here. So just pull that release tape off on all four of them. Okay, and then you're going to fold this up, and when you fold it up, make sure that your sides are matching. Do it on the other side. Alright, so now when you push out, you've got your little winged box. So what we want to do is punch a hole in the top so we can adhere a ribbon. And then we should load it up with something. Let's see what we have here. How about a Lindor treat? Drop that in your box. And I'm just going to use a white ribbon to accent this. There is a little bit of white in it. And I'm going to tie it off with a piece of crumb cake baker's twine. Ribbon up tight, tie a bow, okay, let's trim this. Tidy up the bow a little bit. And then for our greeting, we are going to use a piece of Sahara sand, and I am using the Takeout Treats stamp set, Some Christmas Cheer for You. I'm going to use Mary Merlot ink. Alright, let's close this up before I get ink everywhere. We're using the 1.5 inch circle punch. We're just going to center that. We are using the 1 3/4 inch circle punch to punch out our glimmer paper. And we're going to elevate it with a dimensional. Center this. And we're going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back. Put this on the front. And there is our Christmas table favor, and here is a Thanksgiving table favor. It is the same size of paper, the same folding technique as the project last week, but a totally different look. So I hope you enjoyed it. Play with paper when you fold it. See what else it will do, where else it will go. You might be surprised. Thanks for joining me.